Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Craig Malkin, a clinical psychologist and lecturer for Harvard Medical School, and also the author of Rethinking Narcissism, which is devoted to helping you understand and cope with narcissism in all its forms and all your relationships. Today, I'm going to talk about communal narcissism. A bunch of people asked me to talk about it in a little more depth. If you like my videos, please remember to subscribe by turning the notification bell on so you can see when they come in. Like and comment so I can build on the conversation like I am today. Communal narcissism, if you haven't read my work, Rethinking Narcissism, or gone to my website, drcraigmalcolm.com, a bunch of articles there, is a relatively recent idea that's developed in psychological science, but it's all coming from the same organizing principle of narcissism. If you want to think about it in a very simple way, I always recommend just thinking of narcissism as the drive to feel special, exceptional, or unique. That is what it is at its core. And then there are a variety of ways to feel exceptional or unique, to stand out from the other 8 billion people on the planet. And as soon as you start thinking about it that way, then it makes sense that you could have something like communal narcissism. Even the word communal matched with narcissism can seem really, really surprising until you understand it in this way. In fact, a lot of the research on narcissism looks at a dimension between communion and agency. And the typical common variety of narcissism that most people know about, the loud, chest-thumping braggart, the extroverted narcissist who can be contemptuous and put people down and often wreak havoc in environments, they are typically found to be high in agency and have no interest in communal concerns whatsoever at their extreme. So the fact that it goes together with narcissism in this way just shows that no matter what area of experience that we're talking about, whether it's getting ahead and striving in the case of agency concerns or communal concerns, caring about others, wanting to be helpful, wanting to be connected, wanting to be a good listener, it doesn't matter how potentially healthy an area or realm of human experience we're talking about. When somebody is relying on narcissism in order to feel better about themselves, they can turn to that area of experience, even if it becomes kind of distorted. And this is what happens with communal narcissism. If you remember, again, from any of my videos that you've seen previously, people who have narcissistic personality disorder, regardless of the variety, are going to be insecurely attached. What that means is they don't feel like they can trust that they can turn to others with their more vulnerable feelings. And in fact, a really simple way to think about narcissism when it is in its pathological form is as a defense against shame and vulnerability. That is, if I feel small, insecure, diminished, one way to feel better about myself is to inflate myself, and self-enhancement concerns or the drive to feel special or exceptional, unique, are at the center of all forms of narcissism, particularly as they tip towards pathology. So communal narcissism is pretty much what you would guess based on the name. Communal concerns are about helping and connection. Communal narcissists feel themselves special, exceptional, or unique by virtue of being the most giving person in the room. They feel especially helpful. They pride themselves on their ability to be good listeners. Classic example of this that I give in my book is, this is the friend who traps you in the corner at a party to tell you all the good deeds that they've done and really won't even let you respond in any way until they've finished giving their rundown of all the excellent works they've been doing lately. This is a good example of what communal narcissism is. But, I should mention, as I said earlier, these are also, of course, very healthy ways of being in the world, to be giving, to be caring. And people who are in the mild range of communal narcissism might actually be those grand, caring, charitable people who rally causes and rally people to their side to help with something like endangered animals or a neighborhood watch program or things like that. And they can often do a lot of good. What we're talking about is just kind of being aware of this extreme. So there are some sample questions I want to read that I just put up on my computer so you can get a sense of this. So this is one of the ones that I mention a lot. In the Communal Narcissism Inventory is a series of statements that people can disagree with strongly or agree with strongly on a scale from 1 to 7. That's called a Likert scale. One of them is, I am the most helpful person I know. I'm going to bring peace and justice to the world. This will give you a sense of it. I'm the best friend someone can have. I will be well known for the good deeds I've done. I'm the best parent on this planet. I'm an amazing listener. I will bring freedom to the people. So this gives you a real clear sense of the kinds of beliefs somebody who scores high in communal narcissism carries with them. So what do you do if you're identifying this in yourself? If you feel like you tip into this in some way? Well, I want to speak to you for a second directly if you're listening and just remind you that you are more than just your capacity to give or care or listen. And those are wonderful qualities. And certainly if you have them, you want to nurture them and express them. But you can also just be present. You can be somebody that people like to talk to because you have a good sense of humor, or you can just be somebody who has a warm nature and people just feel comfortable. I mean, there are all kinds of ways to feel connected. And I'm not just speaking to you if you struggle with communal narcissism. This, if you hear this and you've got a friend or a family member and you recognize this, this could be a really good way to kind of test out flexibility. This is, you've heard me talk about this a lot. You want to see if people have flexibility in their ways of relating. The more rigidly entrenched these patterns are, the more people tip into pathology. And there's some wiggle room if they are capable of relating in a different way, if you can remind them. So in the same way I was just trying to remind somebody that they have other qualities to them that can be valued, they can be seen in this way, besides always being caring and giving. You can also talk to your friend. You can talk to a family member where you're seeing these kinds of patterns and say to them, you know, I think of you more as just a good listener. And it's fine if we don't always talk about problems that come up. For me, I like talking to you about other things too. I enjoy you for lots of reasons. If that's true, as always, you want to be authentic with these things. I assume there's a whole range, and there are people out there who have friends in their constellation of their social network and are that they may not be as close to because these things come out, but they do like them. And so if you can authentically say that, please say it. The other thing that you can do that's really simple to test out the range of relating, and again, this goes for anybody who listening who struggles with these patterns, is that you can let them know in a very normal, plain, straightforward fashion if you've got other people that you talk to, because very often somebody high in a communal narcissism really wants to be the one person, and they might even get upset if they find out that you've been talking to another friend. And it's fine for you to do that. So for you to be able to model that you can go off and do that and not be reactive or defensive if the person is like, what, you talk to them already? I mean, if this is familiar to you, then you may have somebody like this in your life. It doesn't matter who you spoke to first. What matters is the nature of the relationship you have with that particular person. So you can just be very straightforward about, oh yeah, I spoke to Mark yesterday, or I spoke to Lisa yesterday about what was going on with my mother, and we had a really good long talk. And then at the first signs of that person sort of feeling a little bit irritable, which, you know, when you think about it, is obviously misplaced. It's a fairly self-involved concern. To just say something like, it's okay, like it's nice to talk to you today, and I talk to you about a lot of things. I've talked to them about a lot of things. And just modeling that without getting all kinds of defensive yourself is helpful. And if you struggle with communal narcissism in yourself, again, just see if you can accept talking about other relationships comfortably, and knowing that the connection that you have with the person that you're with maybe goes beyond that, probably does go beyond that. People don't stick around just for one quality in someone. So that's another way of kind of opening things up. So I hope you found that helpful. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Come back. I'm going to be sharing more.